Hi, Your Honor.
Good morning. So it looks like this was set over for, I believe, for you to file some documents. And I see I see about 10 documents that are in the file that are not showing in Odyssey yet. So I've not had a chance to review those.
Okay.
And Your Honor, the state is involved in this case and we did not receive copies of any of those documents.
It looks like we've got a number that were filed May 24th and then at least, yeah, May 24th. So this one, it looks like there's 6 documents that are in the, they've been filed, but they're not showing yet. So I haven't had a chance to review those. So have those recent documents been served on the state or were you planning on doing that?
No, we're not planning on doing that right now, no.
Okay, well, anything that you file that has anything to do with the case needs to be served on the state as well, because they may have an interest in whatever it is that you're asking for.
Okay. How do I serve them in the state?
Ms. Looney, how do they get to you?
Your Honor, we've been involved in the case for a time. We've received documents in the past, but she can drop them off in person. Or if she has the ability to email them, she can call our office to get an email address. If she has a pen to write the number down, I can give that to her now.
All right, I am ready.
It's 360
Okay.
577 3074.
I'm sorry, did you say 577?
Yes.
3074.
74.
All right.
I'm showing Ms. Lawrence, it looks like you filed a report May 21st.
Correct.
And that I have not had an opportunity to review that as well, because for the same reason that's not showing. We've got a number of documents not showing up here.
Oh. Yeah, because that was filed. Mr. Clark has not served me with his documents from, I think it was May 3rd. That's kind of usual. But yeah.
I don't even see them in here right now.
Yeah, I don't either. It's important that the previous report that I filed as well as my declaration back in, I think it was January, be included with that.
Okay. Well, as indicated, when I looked preparing for this docket, there were a number of documents that were not showing yet. I assume they have to do with today's hearing. So I really am not able to proceed today until we can get all those served on everybody and available to the court.
Okay, I will go and get copies of those from the court today, and then I will drop those off by Ms. Looney's office.
Okay. I'm thinking maybe we should probably go over a couple of weeks on this to make sure we have everything so we can address it.
Okay.
And I don't see Mr. Clark.
Yeah, he doesn't really show up.
Okay. So how about if we put this on for the 12th of June? It's 2 weeks from today, 9 o'clock. The sooner you can get those documents filed and served, the better. It looks like the ones that were filed on the 24th, those will be showing up by that time. They just haven't made it through the system yet.
Okay, June 12th at 9 a.m. and I will go get those copies today and drop those off by her office.
Okay, very
Thank
good.
you, Ms. Ritz.
All right.
Thank you so
I
much.
believe this
Thank
is
you.
only on for review for regarding the litem.
Yes, Your Honor, and I am substantially completed with my report, but not finished. And I don't know if Mr. Ruby is here or not today. But I would request a little bit more time so that I can get that report completed and served on everybody.
Okay, and I don't see him listed here. He's present in the courtroom here. So I did notice you filed a motion for additional time. Has anybody addressed that you're aware of?
No.
For Ms. Turnbull.
No, I don't believe they have.
Okay, it looks like that was done in April. well, no, it was filed May 1st. I think, is Judge Evans handling all those? Do you know? Okay. So you're just asking for 15 additional hours authorization?
Yes, please.
Okay, that, I'm fine with that. I don't have an order, I don't think, on that because that wasn't noted on for today. But if you want to submit an order that, send it to my
Okay.
attention, I'll go ahead and approve that.
Okay, it may have been included with that motion, but yes, I will submit that.
Yeah, I just have, all I have in the file is the motion and it doesn't appear
Okay.
to be, it wasn't noted for today. I saw that when I was looking through the file for today.
Okay,
How
thank
much
you.
time, how much additional time do you think you need to get that done?
The report, let me see what I put in at this point. I think that 15 hours is more than enough. Right now I have 7.5 hours put into the case, and I don't think it's probably going to take me more than another 3 hours.
Okay, so how much time do you need as far as getting to?
Oh, that's what you mean. Pardon me. Sorry.
I'm looking for a date. 2 weeks or longer?
Yeah, if we could do 3 weeks, that would be great. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, so let's put that on for the 19th. That's a holiday apparently. So how about the 25th?
That would work for me. Thank you, Your Honor.
June 25th at 26th. My mouse is in the way. So we'll come back at June 26th for review of the guardian ad litem report. You should have a copy of that, sir, by that time.
But I did see that
Okay.
an adequate cause motion had been filed, but that it was not viewable as of yesterday in Odyssey, for me at least.
Okay. What was the name on that one?
Miller and Young, Cameron Miller and Taylor Young.
Okay, let me see here. And this one has a number of documents that also weren't showing.
Present, Your Honor.
Good morning. Yeah, there's a whole batch of documents that are filed here. So, and I was trying to determine on this one. Like I said, there's a number of documents that are in the court file that I haven't had a chance to look at because they're not yet viewable.
So the state's involved?
Not at this time. We are just looking at the fact that there was an adequate cause motion filed, and I just wasn't sure if, Your Honor, if that was what was being heard today. Because I couldn't view documents.
It looks like that's scheduled for June 26th.
Okay.
What's the adequate cause?
I have no idea, sir. I haven't seen those documents. They've been filed, but they're not. There's a petition to modify, which I don't. I think there's. I said I don't have those documents in front of me, so I don't know what that's about. And I was trying to determine what we were doing here today. It was put over from the 22nd.
Cameron's supposed to show a hair follicle test, and that is the modification filed for the 21st. I think it said the 26th. It's a completely different court date.
So I don't see anything filed that was from the hearing on the 22nd. It looks like there was a request. Commissioner Warning had indicated he was setting it over to file some things.
So
Cameron's
I did get
supposed to
the
come with the hair follicle test, and we were supposed to address the situation with Malaya and my contempt and the restraining order.
So, Your Honor, I did get the hair particle test done at LabCorp. I need the guardian of the litem's information so I can sign a release of information to her. So I need her to email me her information so I can call LabCorp and sign a release of information.
Ms. Corey, I think you're involved in this case.
She was out. She said that she would be out of town for this court case.
Actually, I am.
Hi.
I am sort of involved, Your Honor. It's been kind of a rough road. I was actually dismissed last year because Mr. Miller refused to pay me. I've been trying to collect that amount. for over a year now.
I need you to email me your information.
Has your email changed? Is it the same one that I have?
Cameron with the K.
So it looks to me like there's a whole bunch of, again, there's a number of papers that have been filed set for, looks like it's June 26th. And
So
again,
I don't even have any of those papers.
and I understand that, sir. They haven't been filed here. We don't have them in the court file yet. I can see that they've been filed at the front counter, but they're not showing up here. I assume those are on their way to you as well. But that'll need to be dealt with. It looks like on the 26th of June, assuming that that's served timely. So at this point, it sounds like there's a number of things that I just had this on for a review, and it was unclear to me why that was on. And then I saw these file documents. So I guess my thought is maybe we put this over to the 26th. Mr. Miller, you can get your information, take care of your contacts with Ms. Corey. Ms. Corey, you can send him your email. Hopefully we can get that all addressed, and then we'll have the rest of this up in front of us. I was trying to look through the notes from the last hearing. So it sounds like there was a hair follicle. It sounds like that may be done. That needs to be sent to Ms. Corey. There's something about a restraining order in here, which
Yes, there's a restraining order, which I would like you to see if you can revoke, because on the 8th, the paper says that it was only temporary. And the judge moved it over another week because he needed a hair follicle test. He did not provide the hair follicle test. So they kept the restraining order and pushed it over another week. And again, we still don't have the hair follicle test. And I would love if you could take that away so I can speak and see my child, because now I've done everything I'm supposed to do, and Cameron has continued to not do what he's supposed to do, and I still am not able to see my child. I filed all the paperwork. He was served. I can talk about it now. And now it's going on almost a month of me not seeing my child again. I don't even know if she's in school. I keep getting messages saying that she has absences. So I don't know if she hasn't been in school the last almost 3 weeks or what's going on. I have no idea what is going on.
Can I say something, Your Honor?
Well, I'm trying to find that order. It looks like there was an immediate order that was entered April 11th, which would have been good through 5/8.
It was supposed to expire on the 8th, but they kept pushing it because he didn't come with his hair follicle.
You sure it was in this file?
Expired on the 8th,
Yeah.
and there was no extension tied. Not seeing the extending either.
Well, like I said, when I looked through this, I couldn't find that order because on the 8th of May, it looks like the notes indicate that the restraining order would remain, but there's no order extending.
Because on my paperwork, it says it would have expired on the 8th unless they extended it. So if that's happening, is there any way for you to take it away now, since it was technically supposed to be expired on the 8th, so I can talk and see my child? Because now I go from having her, Cameron being in jail, to me not even being able to speak to her. And there is no reason why I should not be able to speak or see my child. Especially
Can I say something now, Your Honor?
that Cameron has.
Okay, hold on, ma'am. Just say, what's your position on that, Mr. Miller? About her being able to speak with the child?
If you allow her, I would like it to be supervised, because I've had Malaya for 5 years, and then I got incarcerated, took care of my warrants, and then that's where Lewis County told Taylor that she could have Malaya on her weekends and our parenting plan still stays into effect. But Miss Young did not follow the parenting plan. She decided to keep her. She decided to hide her. She took Malaya out of her school for weeks because I was on the hunt to get my kid and to serve her.
Your Honor.
Can I finish, please?
One at a time, please.
And then so once I did find her, I had Thurston County looking for her. I had Centralia Police. I had Lewis County Sheriffs, Pierce County Sheriffs looking for her. And Taylor took Malaya from the house that they were sleeping at. They took her down south to Centralia, to Thurston County, back up to Pierce County. Malaya's been with me primarily the whole time except for 3 months. Now, with that, my daughter does tell me stories about how her Mima, which would be Taylor's mother, would tell Malaya to hide, get down low in the car, because your dad's around here somewhere in the same area that I live. And so when I found her, Malaya starts telling me all of these crazy stories. So if you allow Taylor to see Malaya or to talk to her, I would like them to be supervised, please.
Your Honor.
Well,
I got you.
hold on just a second. What I've got is, again, this case is kind of a mess because there's, it looks like the parenting plan that I'm looking at is from September of 23. Okay.
Correct.
He is the primary parent, so he has essentially custody in the case. There was an order, a restraining order entered, which would have prohibited your contact, and that happened back in April of this year. That order would have expired on the 8th. It appears that Judge Evans extended that, but there was no order entered doing that. So at this point, there's no, I guess here, and that now we have a whole bunch of new documents filed. It looks like maybe for, again, I don't know what those are all about. It's obviously some sort of modification of the parenting plan. And whether or not that'll be addressed or not will depend upon whether there's adequate cause. Again, that's not in front of me today. That'll be heard on the 26th. It would make sense to me at this point, with what little I know, which is not a lot, and Ms. Corey's getting back involved, it sounds like maybe at some point or not.
I really would not like to continue on this case. Mr. Miller expressed vehemently during the last hearing that he did not want me on the case. But if he does get appointed a guardian ad litem, I would suggest that he be required to pay up front.
Okay. Well, here's my thought on this. Right now, Mr. Miller, you're the primary parent, correct?
Correct.
And there's a child with you, or
yes, sir.
Okay.
I do want to state that she is in school too.
Okay. So
And he switched her into school without my consent, which that's contempt in our parenting plan.
Okay. So it looks like there's a lot of things happening in this case. It's going to be back in front of the court on the 26th. In the meantime, what I'm going to do here, give me just a second, because I don't want us to get into a situation where there's nothing.
Your Honor, may I say something?
Sure.
I don't believe there should be supervised visits. Before this, we had a parenting plan and things have changed significantly. He was in jail for multiple charges that were unsettling to me. And he got a restraining order on me for my child. I went from having her to not having her at all. And now this person has her, won't let me see her, speak to her, nothing. And he's not worrying about the mental well-being of my child because she didn't want to go with him in the first place. And me not being able to see or speak to her just because he feels a type of way is not right. They should be supervised because right before that, when he made his decisions of domestic violence and his obstructing law enforcement,
hold on.
He was not thinking of our child.
Okay, I don't have all of this in front of me, and
I filed those like a month ago at this point. And every time they say, the first court date it was, he didn't have his paperwork. The next one, he didn't have his hair follicle test. No one's looking at my paperwork because if they did look at the paperwork, they would know that everything Cameron's saying is a lie. I've put proven facts and evidence that he is lying under perjury and under oath. And no one
I'm not actually.
Okay, hold on, both of you. I have a declaration that you filed May 3rd, which responds to the temporary order. And I don't know if Judge Evans looked at that on the 8th or not. There was a discussion about not a bunch of documents not being served. I have no idea what those are because it's not clear to me from the court record what was filed. There is a new matter that may move forward depending upon adequate cause. Currently, your parenting plan that was entered last fall is the parenting plan that's from September of 23. That's the parenting plan that's in place currently. And he has primary residential care of the child. There was that immediate order that was entered. She's responded to that at some level. Again, it looks, there's a lot of notes in here, but there's no paperwork as to what I don't know. It's Mr. Miller, did you receive that declaration from May 3rd?
Which one?
She filed a declaration. It says it's 26 pages long. It's handwritten. It's mainly includes some Lewis County guardianship documents, or at least a denied order.
Yeah, I
That
got all
was for
that.
when he was in
Okay.
jail and I had her because he went to file for contempt, which this is what this hearing's about. But how can I be in contempt if he's been incarcerated for 4 months and a court order gave her to me? There was no way I
Okay.
could talk to him or anything.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. The parenting plan that's from September is the current parenting plan.
Unless we could stick with the parenting plan until the court date of the 26th. So I at least have her for the weekends.
So at this point, there's no order modifying the parenting plan. So the parenting plan that's currently in effect is the parenting plan before the court. When I look at what Mr. Miller filed, it was an immediate restraining order, but there would need to be some sort of modification of the parenting plan case filed. And that's, at least I don't have anything in this file. There is, as I indicated, it looks like, and I assume this is, mother has filed a new petition to modify that's not been served. It's not in the court.
Yeah, I
file,
just
not
did
before.
that. Yeah.
Okay, it's not before the court at this point. So at this juncture, your parenting plan from September of last year is the parenting plan that you need to follow. So
Okay.
whatever the terms of that are is what you both need to follow until somebody files and the court hears something that changes that order.
So
and
can you take the restraining order away?
So,
well, just listen, okay?
Your Honor,
Sir, I just need to have you listen for a second. Okay, you've not filed something to change that parenting plan. You filed an immediate restraining order, but that doesn't change the parenting plan.
Yeah, I understand that.
I'm talking to him right now. So
Oh.
so your parenting plan from September is the parenting plan that's in effect. She's now filed some documents. I'm not looking at those because I don't have those. You don't have those. I'm assuming asking to change the parenting plan. You'll get those. You can either respond to that or you can file something to change the parenting plan from last September. Because that's the parenting plan you've got, and nobody has got anything that's properly before the court to make a change to that plan, to modify it. So that's the parenting plan you need to follow. And what I'm signing an order here today is you need to follow that plan. The restraining order that was in place, it looks like it expired on the 8th, and I don't know if Judge Evans may have extended it verbally, but he did not. From what I can see here, that was not re-extended on the 22nd. So
okay, so can we do supervised visitations? Because if she doesn't,
Sure.
No.
sir, you need to file
Taylor,
something.
stop talking, please.
But you both need to just listen, okay?
And what
Nobody
about
has
if she
got any,
doesn't give her back?
sir, nobody has filed anything to change the terms of the parenting plan, which was what it would take for me to impose supervised visits. If, and again, Ms. Young, if you have the visits that are set on the plan and you don't return the child as ordered, then you're looking at likely some potentially even criminal charges. So you need to make sure that you both follow the parenting plan until we get a proper legal paperwork that gets it back in front of myself or another judge to make a change to that parenting plan.
Yes, Your Honor.
And that means if she's got visits that are set out, those need to be followed. And if you've got the visits, the child needs to be returned at the end of it.
Yes.
So that's the order I'm signing right now. And then when we, you'll get again, it looks like you got a bunch of paperwork that's on the way, sir. We'll be back on the 26th. If that's been properly served and it's timely, we'll address that. You can file something yourself if you want to make a change, but at this point, your parenting plan from September of 2023 is the parenting plan you both need to follow. So that'll be my order I'm signing today, clerk. And as far as everything else, I really it seems to me that we need to probably come back on the 26th, see if there's grounds to make a change. But there may or may not be. I don't know that. I haven't got all that information, either side, either what she's saying or what your response to that'll be. But in the meantime,
state is involved.
I'm sorry?
But the state's involved.
If the state's involved, it would be at the level of child support. If there is either a change of primary residence or some other reason to change support. And again, that's not in front of me today. I'm not changing the parenting plan that's currently in place. So the parenting plan.
So we do in exchange on Friday.
I'm talking about for the 26th, because wasn't that first lady representing the state?
Your Honor, I can clarify that. We would only need to be involved if adequate cause is granted at that hearing. And as we're not just discussing that today, we don't know what that decision is. The state is not involved at this time, but we would be involved regarding child support only if adequate cause is found to change the parenting plan, as that may change what child support currently looks like.
Okay, thank you.
And I have no idea whether whichever judge hears this on the 29th will make a finding of adequate cause. I don't know that because I don't have that paperwork in front of me. And obviously you have a chance to respond to that before that's found.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right,
So
so
where
at
do
this
you
time,
wanna-
your current parenting plan, which is the one from September of last year, is the one you both need to follow.
Okay, and since he no longer lives in Longview, is there another exchange point we can do on Friday?
No, I'll meet you at Gigi's truck stop.
Your parenting plan that's currently in place is what you both need to follow.
Okay.
So I'll meet you at Gigi's truck stop.
Okay, at 6 o'clock.
All right. So that's all
Whenever
for today.
show up.
So that is all for today. I've signed that order requiring you both to follow that parenting plan.
Thank you, Your
Yeah.
Honor.
Thank you.
Here,
Okay,
Your Honor.
you're welcome.
It's Bashor.
Sarah, thank you. I see Mr. Lawrence is present. And this was on for a temporary change in the parenting plan, it looked like.
Yes, sir.
And we have a parenting plan that was entered in January, and you're asking to change that. That my understanding, is that correct? Okay. And let me see here just a second. And Mr. Bashor, did you receive all those documents?
So she sent me stuff on the 13th, and it said I had to the 15th to respond. So that's 2 days. That's not enough time to respond at all.
So this would have been, looks like it was filed on the 8th. Let me just check and see here. That's not going to be sufficient time even if it was served that day.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I thought I put the 25th down.
The 25th. I'm looking at your motion. It looks like it was filed on the 8th. It said for the 26th. And I didn't see an answer. So it sounds like this wasn't served for a few days at least. You said you got it on the 13th, sir?
Yes. I have proof of that too. Text message and email.
Okay, so that's going to be short service for today.
Yeah, I had to send it through email and I had to get it scanned in to be able to do that.
All right. And did Mr. Lawrence, did you receive a copy of that?
I did, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Bashor, were you planning on responding to that motion?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So today is short service for that. If you got it on the 13th, we'd probably be looking at least until next week. I can set it over a week, but you'll need to get how soon can you get your response filed?
I can't take any more days off this week, but I can try early next week. It's hard because
Okay.
And you can
okay. So my thought then would be if you're going to do that by the first of the week, if I put this over 2 weeks to the 12th, that'll give you an opportunity to get yours filed. That needs to go to Mr. Lawrence as well. And then before we make any changes, I'd want to have some input from Mr. Lawrence, whether it's just verbal in response to those motions.
Okay.
But we need to get your response to that. It's not timely for today, and I'm not going to make her start over from scratch. But let's go to the 12th, which is 2 weeks.
Okay.
Get your paperwork filed by the first part of the week, and then we'll be able to proceed.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. So, Ashley, if you can hear me out, we'll go over 2 weeks. You'll be getting an email from him with whatever his response is, and then Mr. Lawrence will weigh in when we come back on the 12th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Davison?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Wentz? You're welcome.
I'm here, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
And good morning, ma'am. Looks like she's here in court. Go ahead and have a seat there. Let me get to your paperwork here just a second. So I had final paperwork on this one. What I didn't have is, did you receive copies of the papers that she was filing, sir?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
Are you in agreement with those papers?
No, Your Honor, I'm not.
Okay, let me just see here. So are these different than what the original petition said?
There is a couple of things that's different, but not much. I changed like our meet spot, so we're both traveling halfway.
Okay. So what issues are you seeing, sir, that you don't agree with?
On the divorce paperwork, Your Honor, she had originally whited out like her income and everything. And then when she handed it for me to sign, I seen that she wants me to pay $1,500 in child support, $1,500 a month. There's small things like that I would like to come to a compromise on.
Okay, so at this point, if you're not in agreement with the proposed papers, that you both need to sign off on those. If you're not in agreement on something like that, then we'll need to set that for hearing. So I can't grant them the way you've got them here currently. And I'm looking at your petition. It looks like he's agreeable to the dissolution and is asking for notice of any hearing. So at this point, sir, if you're disagreeing with what she's requesting, and again, I don't have a specifics on, all I have on this was the dissolution and a proposed parenting plan, but I don't have any proposed child support orders.
She had put it in. 1 second, Your Honor. I can go through it. Let me find it. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm just looking at what was originally filed.
Originally, I had joint medical decisions about the kids. She took that off. And then that was one of the bigger things, Your Honor. And then she wants me to attend classes, which I'm fine doing some, but I don't feel it necessary to do all of them. And then just honestly, the biggest thing, and then in the newest copy I was going through, it said she wants me to drive all the way up to Vancouver anytime I want to see the kids, to pick them up. So I would like it to be a meeting place.
Okay, well, here's where you're at. So I'm not going to enter these papers. You've got some more work to do. Sir, what you're going to need to do is file a written response to the
response,
a written document that says what you don't like about what she's requested in the court file. So we know what is at issue here. If the two of you can come to an agreement, then we can enter papers that you both signed off on. If you can't, then we need to get it moving along for a hearing of some sort.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. But we can't do anything until you file something that says what it is you don't like about her petition.
Yes, sir.
So what I can tell you is if you come, is it Mondays we have folks here? Letters up, right? So what time is it? 12 to... So we have some lawyers that show up from 12 to 2 on Mondays at the courthouse. If you need some legal advice, they may be able to answer your questions. I can't give legal advice. But again, at this point, you've agreed to the dissolution, but it's real limited to what was filed. So if you don't agree with what was filed, you need to file your response to that, what you don't like, because that's how we get it back in front of a judge to make a decision for you. If you can't, the two of you can't. If you both agree to your final papers and both sign off, that's fine. But until that happens, I can't sign these. Okay. All right. So I'm going to give you these back, ma'am, because I'm not going to enter those today. I will strike it today. And if the two of you come to an agreement, you both sign off the papers, we can enter that. That doesn't have to be put on a docket if you both sign off. But sir, if you guys don't agree, you need to file something in response to this that says what you don't agree with.
And you said that the paperwork was called written response, Your Honor?
It's just called a response. And it's got a bunch of boxes that you can check. If you go to the state court website, they've got a bunch of forms and look for the response to a dissolution.
Look for it. Thank you, Your Honor. I really appreciate it.
Okay. All right. So I'll strike it today. If you come to an agreement, either both sign off and just submit those papers. That could be done without coming back to court.
Does he have to serve me with his response?
He does. Yeah. Any paperwork you file with the court, sir, you need to serve her with.
Yes, Your Honor. I understand. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. I'll strike it today and we'll wait to hear for further proceedings.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody here on that? Are you both here on this one? Okay. Just grab a seat at each end of the table there, kind of by a microphone. Good. So I was a little confused on this when I read this. So Judge Evans put it over. As it said, you needed to file something if you were going to respond. I didn't have anything in the court file. Did you file something, sir?
As far as what goes, I did the declaration.
Okay, I've got a whole bunch of paperwork on this one that hasn't made it through yet.
And I also did the financial on my side, the financials.
So have you received that stuff, ma'am?
We've came to an agreement with the plan. We turned everything in. I know that with the holiday weekend, they said that we needed to get it in by Wednesday. I think I turned them in Thursday and then you turned in, what did you turn in?
Friday afternoon. I didn't have a parenting plan though. Like she said, we're mostly going with what she's talking about here. So,
okay. So let me ask you this question.
Okay.
Right now there's a restraining order in place. Do you need that still?
I'm willing to drop that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll drop that today. And you've come to an agreement on all the rest of your paperwork, you think?
So as far as the parenting plans, I was filing for sole custody or full custody, he with visitation. But at this point in time, I did put in the declaration that I filed that, because when he does have his visitation, it would be on Wednesday from 8 to 6. During my work hours. And I believe he's going to be taking him to his residence, but I believe his residence needs an inspection before he can take him there just because it's I don't think it's baby safe right now.
Okay. So I get this. Here, you may have heard me say a couple of other cases where we've got a lot of paperwork that's been filed with the clerk that hasn't made it to the, I can't see any of it. I can see it's there, but I can't see what it says. So if the two of you have come to an agreement on what you want as far as a parenting plan and you want to submit an agreed parenting plan, that we can go that route. I don't have that order here, I don't think. Let me just double check here.
We didn't file any paperwork that says that we have actually agreed on something.
Okay.
The reason why we didn't turn in a one together is because the one I turned in, he said that he was willing to agree to the terms of it. He did put in his declaration, I believe, whatever you.
I just had a question about, in regards to like, she wants to have like 100% of the like medical decisions and like schooling and stuff like that. And I said that I would like to have some authority as far as that goes, but as far as like the visitation and the hours that she laid out for that stuff, and we discussed like drop off points and all those things, as far as all that stuff goes, yeah, I'm totally fine with what we talked about.
So here's what I'm thinking may be our best option. If I don't extend the restraining order, then the two of you can talk and you're not going to get in any trouble. And I could set this out either a week or 2 weeks. And if your parenting plan is what you agree to with whatever little tweaks you want to make to that, and you want to go ahead and make those changes and bring that in when you come back to court, we can just enter that parenting plan.
Yeah, that would work. We did turn in our income information too for the child support portion of it. I don't know.
And I see it was filed, but I don't have it in front of me yet.
Okay.
When you file at the counter, it has to be scanned through the system before it comes. And again, I've got probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 7 documents that have been filed that aren't in the court file. So I don't know what they say.
Okay.
I'll just give you some money.
In this case, I believe that Ms. Looney indicated that the state was not going to be involved on this one. So if you agree on your numbers and what child support should be, then that's fine. If not, we'll have all your stuff. And like I said, we can come back either next week or 2 weeks, whatever works best for you guys.
And we never came to an agreement on any amount or anything like that. I thought that it would be up to you guys based off of our income.
Okay. So let's do this then. Do you want to come back next week or 2 weeks?
Whatever's good for you, Beth.
You mean Wednesday next week?
Correct.
Okay.
And then go 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I think. Whatever works best.
I guess let's just do it as soon as possible.
Okay.
So Wednesday at 9 a.m.
Okay. So next Wednesday, the 5th.
Okay.
We'll have all your stuff here. Either I or whoever hears this will be able to look at your numbers and come to a decision about what the support should be based on those numbers. If you can get your parenting plan ready to go and just bring that in with both of you signing off, we can enter that. And I won't extend the restraining order, so that'll give you an ability to chat about what changes you need to make.
I do have a question about the paperwork. So for the first one I turned in, it was petition for parenting plan. Is it going to be that same one?
Well, what you're going to need, if you come to an agreement, you're going to need to have there's a parenting plan, which is one document. And then as far as the actual, there's a couple of other documents that go with that when you file a final. And then there's also some child support documents, an order, and a worksheet.
And we've already turned that in.
Okay. And again, I see that there's stuff in here. I just can't make a decision on that for you today.
Okay. So I just want to make sure that we know what we're doing for the next date. So we just need to print out the final parenting plan order.
Yeah, final parenting plan and the final, there's a findings of fact and an order establishing a parenting plan. There's 2 separate documents. Again, if you, and you can bring those with you to court. You don't have to actually file those ahead of time. If you come here on Monday, which would be next Monday from 12 to 2, there are some lawyers out front who can make sure you've got all your documents.
Okay. And then so as far as, because I'm agreeing to him having visitation, but I wanted his house to be looked at before
Mhm.
We send our son over there.
You'll need
is
to,
that,
if you got somebody to do that, we don't do that.
okay,
So if you got somebody, you can go look at it, or you can go look at it, whatever, and you certainly can, and if you both agree to that requirement, then that's, we can put that in there.
okay.
Okay? What's up, sorry? Right, you'll need to bring those final, plus your child support worksheet and your child support, those will be blank, but I'll need those documents when you come in.
Okay,
Okay? So come back on the 5th. Hopefully we'll be able to get all your stuff taken care of. If we can't, we'll do what we can and then get you another date to finish things up if we need more time.
okay, thank you.
Okay, so 9 o'clock on the 5th, next Wednesday.
Thanks.
And I'm not extending the restraining order, so you can chat and all about that. So this one, I know the state indicated they were not involved, so give me just a second here. Did you receive a copy of his response, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay, that was filed on the 20th. So I was I guess a little confused on this one. You've got two kids together. And you've got a child separately that you've got custody of, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And his response to your request, I guess I'm a little, again, I'm trying to track through this. You're agreeable to her parenting plan if she passes a drug test, and if not, you want something different. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah.
Okay.
Your Honor, can I get that scheduled for today? I just would like to get it done and over with.
Get what?
Drug test of any form.
We don't do drug tests. You just need to go to a drug screening place. I mean, I could have offender services do a drug test if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, well, with him requesting it, I would like for him to pay for the expense of that.
Okay, I don't think
That's if you pass it, right?
I'm sorry?
I'm fine with paying for it if it's passed,
Okay.
but if it's not passed, then
So I don't think, they don't charge upstairs at offender services, do they?
I'm not sure, but I think you do have to write a court order.
Right. So if I send you upstairs to offender services, they'll do it. They don't charge for that, and they'll send back the result,
yeah, I didn't want just a pee test or a hair follicle. I wanted like a fingernail.
Okay,
Something
here,
goes
well,
back.
they would either do a hair follicle or they'll do a UA.
All right.
I'm okay with submitting to both.
Okay. So if we do that, we don't do hair follicles upstairs. They just do the UA test. If you want to do a hair follicle test, you'll have to go to like workplace wellness or someplace.
So I
like
wanted like a fingernail because pee and like hair is like able to get it past the test and still be on something. I know people that have done it.
Is there somewhere that does nail drug test? Because I will do that as well.
I think workplace wellness, I believe, does those, but I don't know that for sure.
Okay.
But any of the agencies that do drug
fine with
treatment
it.
and that sort of thing typically do those, or they can get you referred to somebody. But I'll need to have, I guess if you want to do that, I'm not gonna be able to address the order necessarily today, because you'll have to.
I'm fine with that. I just want to see my kids.
Okay.
Yeah, so the issue right now is I filed a temporary parenting plan that has been pushed over several weeks. And so Joseph hasn't seen the kids in almost 2 months because of my fear of non-return. So I was just hoping that we could get something in place for that, at least temporary parenting plan, so that the kids can see their dad.
Okay.
It's been 2 months for my daughter and just about 2.5 for my son.
So how about if we do this? If I just do an order that says you're gonna do a hair follicle test. And and I can set it out a couple of weeks, and in the meantime, so we can get the results. In the meantime, I can set up an order that says he's can have whatever visits we all agree to.
And
Between now and
also,
Is that what-
like the restraining order to be taken off so I can pick up my kids and it's not my dad's responsibility or my grandma's responsibility, and maybe on like a Tuesday or a Wednesday, she has something going on, like, hey, could you have the kids for the night? I could like go pick them up instead of being like, oh, hey dad, what are you doing? Or hey grandma, what are you doing? And
Okay,
it's
well,
not,
here's the thing. If you want it, if you guys agree to a parenting plan, that's fine. If you have, it sounds like there's some issues here which may be bigger than just what I'm aware of. If you want to have, we can also appoint a guardian ad litem to look at the case to give some recommendations as to a parenting plan.
What is the cost of that?
What, are you currently employed, ma'am?
I am, yeah.
And what,
I just had CPS in my home, so, which I had just submitted this morning, documentation from that.
what's your approximate take-home income?
Just under 1,900
Can you
before
help?
taxes are deducted.
Okay, before taxes?
Yeah.
Okay, so quite a bit less. And sir, are you employed?
no, just do side jobs,
Okay.
firewood.
He's been employed under the table for 4 years at $20 an hour.
No, I haven't.
So probably at this point, we could appoint it at county expense, so it wouldn't be a cost for that, but there would be some time involved. You're not going to have an answer today or even in 2 weeks.
Right. I'm fine with the guardian ad litem coming into my home.
Okay. Does that work for you, sir?
Yeah.
Okay, so who's our next 3 guardians?
Violet Corey, Amy Turnbull, and Karen Lawrence.
All right, so you each have the ability to say, I don't want one of those in that order. If you don't care, it would be Miss Corey. If you either of you have an issue with her, then
Okay.
No issues with any.
okay. So I'll appoint Twyla Corey. Let's see. Miss Corey, we're appointing you in this case. Yeah, so you're her.
I heard that. Is that
It's
Miss Roach?
Roach and Roach County expense. Normally we're putting that first review. How far out do you want those normally? 2 weeks?
Typically 4 weeks.
4 weeks out? Okay, so that's, I think I'm gonna go out for I don't know if this is gonna be an extensive investigation on this one, but let's go to maybe the 23rd of August for a report.
Okay.
And then if that doesn't work, I won't put a middle interim on that. I don't, unless you think there's a need for it once you get involved.
August 23rd is a Friday.
That's just for filing a report, and I'll put a review.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I can review that on the 28th.
I believe I'm going to be out of town that week.
Okay.
So if we could go into the 4th. We appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. So review on 9/4. Okay. At this point, I think what I'm going to do, I've got a proposed order here, but I think what I'm going to do on this order, instead of entering a full temporary parenting plan under section 14, and maybe we'll need their signatures.
He had requested every weekend, which I originally was fine with, but I think that I'm getting a new job where I'll have weekends off. So I am just requesting at least 1 weekend a month with my kids.
Okay. Does that work for you, sir?
Yes.
Okay, so how about if we put,
And then in the meantime, if he wanted them for that weekend that he has off, we can figure out maybe a Wednesday or a Thursday or something, whatever he's in agreement of.
and give me just a second here. What my thought would be, since it's been a little while since he's had much contact, any objection to him having this weekend, and then you would have the second weekend of the month?
Yes, that works.
Okay. So the second weekend of each month would be with mom. And when were you going to go from Friday to Sunday or Saturday, Sunday? What's
Friday, I believe.
We were usually doing Friday at 7 p.m. to Sunday around 5 p.m.
Does that work?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and then I'm putting in here, any other visitation is agreed, so if the two of you come to, you need to have him have the kids for a particular time, or he wants to make some different arrangements, you can always agree to that. If not, it's just, you'd have the second weekend of the month, plus they live with you, and then he would have all the rest of the weekends.
Okay.
Okay, that's from 7 Friday until Sunday at 5. So the rest of the parenting plan, we're going to deal with that after Ms. Corey has a chance to look at your case. All right.
And so we have a hearing on the 12th via Zoom for the drug request. Can we,
Which?
for the drug request, but since we are going to take care of that today, I'm not sure what we can do about that court date.
The 12th. I don't have anything on here for the 12th. When did that get? Oh, I was going to do that. Strike that. You don't have to come back for that.
Okay.
But I still need to have you do a drug test, which I will do an order on that separately.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to have you go, it's upstairs. You just go up the elevator and that's the only thing up there.
Okay.
Then they'll give you a copy of this order and they will do a drug test. I'll send it back for filing with the court. So you won't get a direct copy, sir, but it'll be in the court file. And then we'll take a look at that. The guardian ad litem can take a look at that as well. She can have the yellow copy that take upstairs.
Am I allowed to talk to her about my kids? Or
Do you have any objection to that, ma'am?
So yeah, my
But
next
not
question was,
kids?
I don't want the restraining order lifted, but we would like to communicate about the kids and the court case and see if we can come to an agreement without going to mediation.
Okay.
That's protect them in the civil protection order. It does state that.
Is that in
they
the,
are able to have contact with visitation.
that's on the 2 case? Okay.
Okay, that's what I thought.
There is a caveat there too.
Okay,
It says they can
so that-
communicate for the purposes of their children.
Okay, so that's a separate case. That's not in front of me today. But if those provisions are already there, then you guys can talk about this case and that won't get you into any trouble. And you can also, whatever you need to do as far as exchanging the child is fine.
Okay,
So, okay.
so are we gonna do the Scion Church then at the bottom of the hill? Okay,
And so I still can't pick up my kids?
I'm sorry?
I still can't pick my kids up
Well, where did you
at
want
the
to?
church, at the bottom of the Zion Church at the bottom of Mount Vernon?
Does that work for both of you?
yeah, that's where we were meeting.
Okay.
But no, they said that we can meet to talk about kids and divorce and stuff like that.
They should probably both go to the counter after court and get copies of this
Okay.
in the 2 case.
Okay, so exchange at the, what was the name of the church? It's
I can't afford that.
it's the Zion.
The Zion Church on Minor Road at the end of Mount Vernon.
I'll put that right in here. The exchange will be at the Zion Church. Kids reside with mom. Mom has the second weekend, which would be not this weekend, but next weekend. You'll have the rest of the weekend from 7 on Friday till Sunday at 5. You're going to go upstairs, do a drug test for me this morning, and then that's, we don't have a hearing on the 12th. Once we do have a hearing, which is set in here to review status of this, which will be on, what did I do with that? I think I put that in that other order.
June 26th.
Okay, on the 26th, and that's to make sure you've contacted Ms. Corey, so that she's ready to go ahead with her report if she's not at that juncture. Okay?
Okay, so we need to get in contact with the guardian ad litem.
Correct.
Okay, and then 9 a.m. 26th.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, and here's this order, which I signed. I think that takes care of everything for you guys at this point.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Okay, good luck. And get in touch with Ms. Corey. She can give you some info on the parenting plan.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. And it's straight up the elevator. When you come out of the elevator, it's right there. Did you get a copy of this order? They'll take that and they'll take care of that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Corey. Shannon Curry and Nicholas Workala. Not hearing any response. If anybody left the courtroom, I will strike that today. All I have to. Not sure who everybody else is on Zoom, but we are going to be closing out the Zoom session. Have a good afternoon.